Some of these are very similar, but some of them are kind of far-fetched. Like, Keira, what are you even talking about? Like, why would you even compare that book to this book? Hello besties, it is Keira. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we're going to be doing one of those videos that is like, if you like this book, then try reading this book. I've never done one of these before. I'm not really sure how it's going to go. I feel like it was pretty difficult for me to find books that were very similar or gave off like the same vibe. Some of these might be far-fetched, I will say. Sorry about the lighting. It keeps going in and out on me. Just make sure to follow all my socials down below with my goodreads, my Amazon wish list, stuff like that. I'll link them there if you want to check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos with me. And let's just get right into it. First up are two books that are actually like my favorite books of all time. Like, I don't know how it worked out that I liked both of them, but they're both very similar to each other, so I feel like it makes sense. If you liked Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, I think you should read Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Archer's Voice, a very emotional romance about this girl named Bree who has like come to this little small town that she, I believe, used to visit to like when she was a kid. It's just getting away from a lot of things, and this is where she meets Archer. And Archer has been like living in this town his whole life, but he does not talk to anybody, is how I will say it. I'm not gonna like spoil it for anybody, but he basically doesn't interact with people, and people kind of like stay away from him because he has a very traumatic past. Basically, it's their love story. There is like a little bit of a mystery kind of aspect plot in this story, and gets you on the edge of your seat. I really enjoyed it. Love both characters so much. I loved Archer. I love like a little sheltered mailman character with a past. I feel like Lotus has very similar vibe to it. A guy named Oliver, and basically he was best friends with Sydney, who was the female main character, when they were kids, and Oliver ends up going like missing, but now it's like years in the future and he ends up escaping from where he was kept, and it's just kind of trying to learn how to navigate the world and like interact with people, have relationships, like be back in with the society. It was just so good. There is a bit of a mystery plot within this one as well, which I did not see coming. I just really loved seeing Sydney help Oliver come back into this world and figure out and navigate everything. It was really nice to see their friendship. It's a similar thing to like Archer's Voice, where Bree was helping Archer come back with society and learn how to like live in the world again. Definitely search up trigger warnings for both of them, because Lotus is definitely more of like a darker, I don't want to say darker romance, but it's definitely a lot more heavier, I feel like, on the topics that are talked within this than Little Sweet Archer's Voice. So yes, both tortured mailman characters, both have a little bit of mystery plots in them, and both my favorite books of all time. If you like Archer's Voice, try checking out Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. Alright, next up we have two kind of like country cowboy romances. So I'm thinking if you liked Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, I think you should try out this book called Homebound by Meredith Trapp. I don't know if people have heard about this. I think I saw a TikTok on this or something, and I read it on my Kindle and really enjoyed it. Done and Dusted is like this little cowboy like romance series, and it takes place on Rebel Brew like ranch, and basically Emmy is like the female main character, and she used to like ride horses or whatever, and she like left this small town and something happens and she has to come back to the small town, and that's where Luke is, and he was kind of like childhood friends growing up with her brothers on this ranch, and it's kind of like their romance. I just love like the country vibes of it. Like, it was just like an easy, quick read, which I really enjoyed. I think you should try Homebound, where she is like a bull rider, which is kind of similar to like Emmy being like a horse rider and all that kind of stuff. And this guy Wyatt is a single dad, and he's also like a hockey player. Growing up, they were like best friends, so it's similar to that one where they've been like around each other, seeing each other kind of grow up or whatever. He comes back to this small town. His whole like mission is to try to win her over, because he's been like obsessed with her like forever. Like, he's been in love with her probably since they were kids. I like how both books, I feel like both the female characters are very strong-willed. This one, fun, quick, just a nice fun country cowboy romance. I mean, the cover So cute. I just feel like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this. So if you're looking for like another country cowboy romance, I would try this one. I feel like if you read Done Dusted, I think you should try Homebound by Meredith Trapp. All right, next up we have two books I feel like kind of similar but also not. So we have Icebreaker. I feel like everybody and their mother has read this, but if you like Icebreaker, I think you should try Unsteady by Peyton Corney. This is a hockey romance, college hockey romance between a hockey player and a figure skater. That's pretty much all you need to know. Yeah, very spicy. I feel like everybody's read this up at this point. This book I feel like is much deeper. I feel like a little bit more emotional romance. So yeah, this is about Reese and Sadie, and basically Reese is a hockey player and he suffered like a very bad concussion at one of his games and is just trying to get like back onto the ice, but he's kind of having some like panic attacks. This is where like he meets Sadie, and basically they're both I think it's like a college setting, but she's like taking classes and she is taking care of her two brothers, I believe, like heavily. There's just a lot of home stuff going on with her, and whenever she can, she likes to get on the ice because she's a figure skater actually. So that's where their meet cute is. I believe she's there like an early morning skating one day, and that's where Reese ends up being, trying to like skate by himself. So I just overall remember enjoying this so much because it was like very emotional. You guys know I love an emotional romance. It's got the same vibe of like hockey players, figure skater, but it's definitely just like more emotional. I just love seeing the relationships be formed between the characters, how much they helped each other with all of their like things that they had going on. He was very protective of Sadie and her brothers. If you just want something similar that'll just really pack a punch, then I would definitely recommend this one. I think if you liked Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, you should try Unsteady by Peyton Corney. I usually don't read like YA romance at all. I feel like it's just too young for me these days. I mean, I am 21, so if you like Better Than Movies, which I feel like a lot of people do, I would try The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. So basically, if you don't know what Better Than Movies is, it's about this girl named Liz, and basically her mom passed away and they connected a lot through like I think movies and like rom-com films or whatever. She had like a little bit of like a little neighborhood friends group growing up, and Wes, the mailman character, happened to be kind of like that stickler neighbor type situation, but he's kind of like been in love with her for a little while, so it's basically like their romance or like their senior year of high school or something. It's really cute. I would try The Upside of Falling by Alex Light. So this one, very short, but it's basically about like this bookworm and this like football player. So it's kind of got those similar like rom-com-y high school vibes. So basically there's this girl named Becca, and I think she reads like a lot of romance books or something. One day she's like in the hall and her friend teases her about having a boyfriend, and she's like, oh wait, what do you mean like I have a boyfriend? And then she ends up like joking it's this guy. So I think it's like a little bit of like high school fake dating. Both of them also have a lot going on. They kind of know nothing about each other, and as they're like fake dating or whatever, it makes her look good that she actually has a boyfriend for once, and he just wants to get like everybody off his back about like not having a girl around. So it's just like, it's cute, it's fun. I thought it was very sweet, very quick. I don't know, I just felt like this one, when I was reading it, reminded me of Better Than Movies. I don't know if just because it was like a YA high school romance or what. I think if you liked Better Than Movies, you should try The Upside of Falling. Okay, next up we have one, I wouldn't say it's out there, but they're kind of similar but also kind of different. So I'm thinking if you liked the Knock 'Em Out series or Things We Never Got Over, I think you should try the Eden series by Devney Perry. So this one by Lucy Score, love this book. Definitely need to reread it. Basically this is about Naomi and Knox, and like I think she has to take custody of her like sister's daughter, and that's where she like meets Knox in this small town. He's just like a really grumpy guy. They get off on the wrong foot at the start because her twin sister has kind of been on like the run with the law, and she's just gotten into a lot of different things. It's basically like her romance in this little town, and there's that lingering mystery aspect. The end of this book had my jaw on the floor. It was like one of my first books I think I read by Lucy Score, so like obviously I was like wow with the like romantic suspense aspect. So I think if you like these kind of vibes of like the small town, this romantic suspense, and you want want something that's like not as long as this or long as the books in this series, I think you should try Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. So this is part of the Eden series. They're just like small town vibes, but make them like short and have like a suspense in them. And they're really easy to get through. The mystery aspect that happened at the end of this book made me think of Things We Never Got Over. I love Devney Perry. I mean, all of her books are, I feel like, very similar because I've read quite a few now, but like you just can't put them down. So this is about Winslow and Griffin, and basically Winslow is going to become the new like sheriff or something, or chief of police in Quincy, Montana, or the night before she becomes like the sheriff, or her first night or something. I don't know. She's like at the bar, and I think she ends up like meeting Griffin, and they have like a one-night stand or some kind of situation, like not knowing who each other is. And then she comes to find out that he's like an Eden, and basically like in this town of Quincy, like the Edens are like the royalty because they like made the town. You know how it is. It's basically like their romance, and like I said, there is a lingering mystery that happens throughout the book, and it's just so interesting. Like I love me a little suspense moment for a romance book. I think if you liked Things We Never Get Over, I think you should try the Eden series, starting off with Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. Okay, next up and last up for this video, I haven't read much fantasy, so I can't really give you guys like specific recommendations. Like if you loved ACOTAR, like read this. Like I haven't read that much yet, but these I feel like have, again, similar like vibes, I guess, if you will. So I think if you read Powerless by Lauren Roberts, I think you should try the Lightlark series by Alex Astor. Both these are just YA fantasy romances, but they're not too complicated, which I really like. Like they're very easy to understand. For me, when fantasy is very easy to understand, not too much politics and war and all that, I feel like it's very enjoyable. Powerless, if you don't know, is about, so it's about this girl named Peyton, and basically she lives in a world where there's elites and ordinaries, and elites have powers, ordinaries do not. And I think if you are an ordinary, it's like very frowned upon. I don't know if they like kill you or something, but being an ordinary is not very good. So she's been kind of like hiding that she is an elite with a power so that they don't like find her and kill her. In doing so, she ends up being summoned to this like game or this like competition where she has to like fight to be the best elite or something, like show off her powers or whatever. I guess it's kind of similar like to the Hunger Games. So there's like a love triangle situation, and it's just very fun and easy to read. I think if you liked that book, I think you should try Lightlark by Alex Astor. So I put off this book for so long, and I don't know why I did, because this is like one of my favorite books of all time. It wasn't quite a 5-star, but the more I think about it, I think I should give it a 5-star. Like I should update my rating because I talk about this book so much since I read it. But it's basically about this girl named Isla, and she lives in a world where there's 6 realms, and every 100 years these realms get summoned to play this game on Lightlark, and they all have been cursed. So when they get summoned to this Lightlark place, it's basically to do a bunch of things to try to break this curse. This is Isla's first time going. Isla does not have any powers, so it's kind of similar to Powerless, where Peyton doesn't have any actual powers and Isla does not have any actual powers herself. Basically, there's a bunch of just like trials and demonstrations that happen in this book, and I felt like I wasn't too lost. It was pretty easy to understand. I thought all the different realms and their powers were very cool. And yeah, so that series had a love triangle. This one also has a love triangle. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love the magicalness of the writing style and the world in this one. Again, YA wasn't too hard to understand. I feel like not enough people talk about this. Like I feel like people do talk about it, but not enough people. I think if you liked Powerless by Lauren Roberts, I think you should try Lightlark by Alex Astor. So those are all the books that I have recommended. I don't know how many I have, but there's a pretty big stack below me. Again, I feel like some of these are very similar, but some of them are kind of far-fetched. Like, here, what are you even talking about? Like, why would you even compare that book to this book? Sorry, I don't know. I tried to like switch it out with my videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want more like sit-down chat videos, let me know. I feel like I don't do a lot of them. Make sure to follow all my socials down below, along with my goodreads, my Amazon wishlist, stuff like that is linked down there if you want to check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on me. And I will see you guys next week for another video. Bye!